We're live. We're live. What's up, everyone? It is Monday. I did think that it was Tuesday most of today. But with that being said, happy Monday. It is so good to be here with you all. I've got Donna Campbell. I've got Julianne Meyer. I've got Rex Sykes with me. This is a great Monday. How are you guys doing today?
Awesome. So happy to be here. I'm excited anytime I get to share time and space with you folks.
Yeah.
It's been fun. And I know I've missed out the last couple of days when you guys have been jumping on, and I'm so excited to be here for the next few days.
Yay! Well, this week is going to be super exciting because yes, we're at Monday now that we've clarified that it's Monday. We've got Tuesday, obviously tomorrow, but once we hit Wednesday, Wednesday's the first. And Wednesday is the very first day of this really impactful week called the LA Leadership Week. So for anyone that's listening right now, if you can imagine LA Fashion Week, you can think of New York Fashion Week. You can think of Shark Week, as we discussed. I think the last time we were on. Any kind of programming that there is a week set aside where it's focused on one thing. Think of that. And this is the LA Leadership Week. So that is where we're at. We're starting Wednesday, the 1st. We're going to be going from morning till night on starting at Pacific time. I was going to say West Coast, but Pacific time. I believe 10 a.m. Is that correct? We're starting at 10 a.m. Yes, 10 a.m. And we're going to be going all day. So there's so many opportunities for people to hop on, catch, if not the entire thing. That wouldn't be expected necessarily, but there's always an opportunity to hop on and to catch something and to really be able to dive into gaining value from the speakers that are set up and programmed for this week. I'm so excited, guys. I'd like to ask Donna. Donna, first we'll go around. What is one thing that you are personally looking forward to taking away from this week coming up?
You know, when I think about the topic of leadership, I think that leadership is also a lot about nonverbal communication because verbally, it's only about 7% of what we say. So in leadership, it's the actions, the energy, and all of that. And I know with our speaker lineup, even with some of the different main leadership gurus out there, there's a nonverbal component that they're going to be communicating across. And if you open your eyes, look, watch, see, you're going to learn so much more on a leadership perspective than just saying step 1, step 2, and writing out a list. So I'm really excited for that and for some of the wisdom that they're going to be sharing in the way that they share it.
7%, you said, right?
7% verbal.
Wild. That's wild. I mean, everything I'm doing right now is communicating far more than my words are even communicating. Just breaking it down so simply. That's insane. I knew it was a very small percentage. I think I knew that it was 7, but I was having that reminder is so important. Thank you for that reminder, Donna. That's going to carry me through today for sure. So thank you for that. What about you, Julie?
You know, I was thinking about that, and obviously I'm excited for the hidden gems, the wealth of knowledge that's going to be brought forward. But I was thinking about, and selfishly, who am I going to become by just showing up for this event? Who am I going to become if I can hear even one kernel of wisdom that I internalize and take action on? And when I take care of myself, I will be affecting 4 people out in a positive manner. So it's like that healthy ripple effect. So selfishly and also not, I'm thinking about who am I going to become? Because all it really takes is showing up around and spending time with these amazing leaders, thought leaders, change makers, and showing up for myself as well, because not everything that we do for business is a business type thing. So like if I'm going to say compete in a race, who I become during that is going to translate into business and vice versa. So I'm really excited because we have so many different experts on so many different topics. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I just have to show up and glean the knowledge from them and then utilize what I can and move forward. And hopefully skip through some of those hoops that I might have to have had experience in the first place that I don't have to at this point. So I'm really excited about that.
I'm here for all of that. It's so good. What about you, Rex?
Well, I want to piggyback a little bit on what Donna said. You know, the notion, the study, the original study has been a little bit misinterpreted, but the bottom line is how it's been utilized in the communication field is to say that 7% is the word, 35% is the non-verbals, and then about 55% is I'm sorry, the paralinguistic cues, the tones and the tempo and the timbre that you speak with, paralinguistic clues, and then the other is the 55% is the body language. So did I say that right? 7, 38, and 55. Anyway, makes that 100. So yes, watch people, because that is really truly an important thing. Far more important than what people say is what they actually do and how they exhibit. And you can see whether they're congruent or not congruent. It leaks out of everybody. This is what good people who like polygraph people are able to notice if somebody is in alignment with what they're saying or if they're out of alignment with what they're saying. And that's an important skill to develop and to have and to do. But I'm going to listen. Here's my takeaways. I want to listen to the people I've never heard before. I want to pay attention to the people I don't know who is out there. I know a lot of the really wonderful people and the top dogs and all that kind of stuff, and I'm going to listen to them too. But I'm really interested in that next wave of people who haven't maybe made it to fame, or that we don't know who they are and what they have to offer. Now, some of them may not have much to offer. Some might have incredible stuff to offer. We just don't know until we actually get curious enough to pay attention to them. So I'm going to be wanting to see all the people I don't know. Oh, and one more thing. Let me just say this, because when we started, yes, it's May 1st through 7th, may go longer. It's all day long. So you want to register so that you get free access to the replays. You want to make sure that you have that available. So if you come home from work and you're tired and you can't watch it that day, you can watch it the next day or whenever at your leisure. But if you don't register, you don't have that available to you. So be sure to register right now if you're watching this, so that you secure your spot, but so that you lock it in so that you can have all the goodness from all of these great people available to you. So register at laleadershipweek.com and be sure that you do it today.
So good. I think it was Ava mentioned the other day that when you register, you also have an option to receive text updates or text alerts. And I found that to be incredibly helpful for when you know you're wanting to pay attention for a certain speaker, you want to catch a certain speaker live, that you're able to know kind of what's going on for the day. I don't know exactly how detailed those texts will be, but I do know that she did mention that the other day. So I wanted to throw that out there in case that's something that anyone else is looking for. Go for it, Julie.
Exactly. Yes. And I just want to say too, and for those of you who have never been on the back end of a live event of this magnitude, there are so many moving parts. And just because we plan something to be at a certain time, it doesn't necessarily work out that way. There's technology involved, there's schedules, there's all sorts of things. So there are a lot of moving parts, and we will be delivering the people that we promise, but it might not be exactly when we think it will be. So we definitely want, you to not miss out on those people that you really want to hear from. And also, if there's somebody like, if you've done your research and you see somebody that's interesting, then you want to go back and take a look at what they've said, that you'll have the opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think that's a huge piece and a huge part of it. And just making sure you register here at laleadershipweek.com. And, with what Rex was saying, authenticity is such a huge thing. And are you walking your talk as a leader? A lot of people talk, but they don't necessarily follow through and put in the actions and into those steps. And in the speaker world, are you the same person on stage as you're off stage? Are you the same person privately as you are publicly? And I think as we intuitively listen to a lot of these amazing speakers and leaders that we have coming on, you'll know exactly who to resonate with for you to really grow. And I love this new word. I came up with it. Well, I didn't come up with it, but it came into my paradigm over the weekend, and truly expand with what we're doing.
So good. So good. So speaking of making sure that we all, because we're all speaking right now, so we're considered speakers, right? Making sure we all walk our talk. I'd like to know what leadership looks like for each of you this week as we prepare going into Leadership Week, right? What does leadership in your own life look like this week? Well, Rex, I'll go with you first.
Wow, what a great question and an opportunity to go before such other esteemed colleagues that I'll try and add some value. I think of leadership not so many people want to be leaders, and Napoleon Hill pointed something out. I said, in order to be a leader, you need to first be able to lead yourself. That means be able to make a decision, set an intention, and then go for what it is that you want and accomplish that by persisting, by believing that it's possible, and by not giving up. And if you can't lead yourself, you really shouldn't want to lead anybody else. So first and foremost, it's really important to develop that relationship with yourself, to invest in yourself, your time, energy, money, whatever, your effort into being the best you can be so that you have something to offer another person should you want to offer it. And so I think leaders, really, we should just eliminate the word leader and call it role models, because what a true leader is a role model, an example for others, not to follow, but to embrace, to imbibe, to use as a template so that they too can fashion their lives, from the role model. So the role model has to be congruent and walk their talk, be authentic, be genuine and caring and compassionate enough, to be able to uplift, edify, and help other people transform themselves. And then, because it's not just about a flock of gathering people around ourselves, and then like with a parade, and the flag and the whole thing going, I'm a leader. It's about demonstrating your value to the people around you because you have some exceptional skills, whether it's it should be communication and anything else. But that your role model, as you would hope one would be a role model to their children. So, hi, Rachel.
Welcome, Rachel. Yay.
Hello, hello. So happy to hop on and join you guys.
Well, Rachel, I'd like you to hop on this question. I'll bring you in now before we go to Donna and Julianne. So the question is, with Leadership Week coming up this week, starting on Wednesday, what does leadership look like for you in your own life this week as we're gearing up for a really awesome week?
Well, I think Rex hit the nail on the head when he said being a role model to not only us, but to our children. I think that is so profound. And to me, anyone who I can introduce to my own children or children who look up to me, because I do mentor a lot of kids, young professionals, they'd be really upset if they heard me say kids because they're college students. But the reality of it is they do look up to us. They are looking for our guidance and discernment. And so I believe when we become a role model for children or young adults, that is stepping up and being a true leader. Because if you can be a role model to kids, I believe that you can be a role model, or you are a role model in society, because they are our future. Whether we like to admit that or not, they are learning from us. And so I think there is a lot personally lacking in some of the areas of leadership amongst children in school. And so for us to show up as role models is quite profound. So for me, I know that I always try to surround myself with other people who are role models for myself and my children, which is why I am so honored and grateful to be here on with all of you, because I consider each and every one of you a role model to me. And I would also introduce my children and all of the kids that I mentor to each and every one of you. In fact, some of them are probably going to be appearing on one of the panels as young adults. So I'm super, super excited for them to show up in their entrepreneur journey, starting out, and be surrounded by and learning from each and every one of you as a role model.
Ooh, that was amazing. Like really breaking it down and thinking about what I introduce my children to this person. I mean, straight to it. And it's the truth, because I hold the same value here. So It's like, but I want my kids to learn from you. I don't know. Let's check it out, and it's that simple because they do absorb everything. They are watching everything. And even if they're not trying to watch or trying to glean from the person or any people, it's how we experience life. We're constantly intaking all of it. So,
Yes.
so good. All right, Donna, I would love to hear.
Yes. Over the weekend, I was hosting a different show, and I had a paradigm shift just on this very question that you're asking. How are we showing up as leaders? And the person that was speaking, she uses horses in her therapy working with people. And she would take the lead, hand it to the other person, and say, lead this horse. Well, the person would just like take off without a direction, and the horse wouldn't go anywhere. And so there was this whole analogy and unfolding of, do you want to follow someone who doesn't have a direction, that doesn't have a focus, that doesn't know where they're going? And of course, the answer is no. And it's like, well, you kind of showed up that way, so the horse isn't going to follow you. So in your leadership, how are you showing up? And for me, I learned yesterday, it really goes back to the energy that we're in, the energy we send out, and sharing in that. Because if a horse isn't going to follow you, people probably aren't going to follow you either. And leadership is not about having followers. It's really about who you can bring along with you. But if you can't bring a horse with you, who are you going to bring with you? And so that was my aha moment yesterday. And how do I show up as a leader?
Oh my gosh. I love that example, that illustration. Rex, I feel like you have something to say about that.
Wow. Okay. Yes, a lot, really, actually. Beautiful. When it comes to horses, I talk about the subconscious mind in one form as an analogy. It's a living, people use the computer metaphor all the time, but it's really not. It's more like a jungle. But for the purpose of this analogy, it's like a horse. And horses are really, really well trained, and you're not a trained rider. You sit on the horse and the horse doesn't do anything because all of your movements and the way you shift your body and the way you put your reins and how you do things, because you're not a trained rider, confuses the horse, so it doesn't do anything. Now, you've heard of stable nags, which is a horrible term, but these are the horses that go around the path and they come back and they travel at a certain rate and they go where they want to go, and you don't know how to ride. You're just on the horse for a ride. But if you invest in yourself and you get good riding lessons and you become an expert horse person, you can get on a good horse or even a stable nag and you can tell it where to go. So the same thing is true about our subconscious mind and what we do. We need to train ourselves to train consciously to be able to impress upon the subconscious mind what we want it to do. And then it'll do it because it knows how to do it better than our conscious mind, but we don't. We consciously don't understand it, but consciously we do impress it. So that's an important thing to learn. The second thing, and I'll say this, I traveled recently, and when I did, I sometimes will have a dog sitter, someone come into my house, to be with the dogs. I never kennel them. I never put them in doggy motels or anything like that. They're too valuable, too precious, they're my other than my children, they're my children. Or I'm their children. I'm not sure how that works out, but the point is that I really value and take care of them. So I had somebody take care of my dogs that I got to meet over a period of time, and I was like, okay, but I'd never had used them before. So I placed my faith in it, but I wasn't sure. They would send me pictures and, give me updates and everything else. And sometimes I thought, oh, this is cool. Oh, I'm not so sure it's cool. I don't really know. Yes, good, no. Anyway, I came home. The girls were happy to see me. A few days later, we were at the dog park, and this person came to the dog park to drop some stuff off that they had taken from my house. Not just inadvertently. It wasn't a problem or anything, but they were returning some things. And the girls went wild. They were so thrilled to see this person. And I was like, that tells me everything I needed to know about whether this was a good caretaker for my girls. So when I travel, I now know I have a trusted person. They responded well. I mean, talking about nonverbal behavior, that's the old saying, if you can't trust your dog, if a dog doesn't like the person, maybe you shouldn't either. So it's a great way to calibrate, authenticity and whether somebody's a good caretaker is the response that they get from the people or the animals or the children around them. And if you, what Donna started with the nonverbals, if you study nonverbals and you pay attention, while you might be wrong once in a while, you become a pretty darn good judge of character pretty quickly. And that's a good skill to, again, to develop. So while you're here at the leadership conference, that might be something you also want to, pay attention to and learn to develop and invest in.
Solid, solid. So good. I do have a few comments on that, but I'd like to hear from Julianne first.
Thank you, Parisa. I have a slightly different, I love what everybody has shared, and I want to add to it in my own way. And, for me, leadership is how I show up for myself and therefore how I show up for other people. And and we heard this on a different show through the LA Tribune, but being vulnerable enough to be visible. And I am going through an extremely rough part in my life right now, personally, but I'm still going to suit up. I'm still going to show up and still show myself grace while I am walking through this. So I'm holding on to my responsibilities, but also taking care of that inner self, that needs the extra babying right now, the little extra protection, so I can move through that. And so for me to be able to share where I am and also still be there for other people, then that shows other people that you don't always have to take your temperature before you decide to do something. There can be things that you just do because that's what needs to be done. Not only for yourself, you might not always feel like it. Because if I had my druthers, I would be in bed, maybe watching TV with my dog, hanging out and just whatever. But here I am because this is so much more important and so much bigger than me. And to have the honor and privilege to be a part of this, it would be a disservice to other people, including myself, to not show up just because there's something going on in my life. So to me, this has shown me this is how I walk through this. And if I can do it, so can you. So it doesn't matter where you are. There is something for everybody this coming week that you will walk away with something that will help you move forward. And if I can do it, you can do it.
Tell us how we can support you if we can. You don't have to tell us on the air.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I appreciate that friendship. And see, that's the thing. It's all about community. And that's what we are creating here with Leadership Week. We are creating this community where you don't have to do this thing life alone. You have to do it yourself, but you don't have to do it alone. And we are teaching skills and ways that you can lead yourself and also lead others. I love this idea, Rex, of it being more like a role model versus, leader here and other person down. It's not about that. We're all leaders in our own right. And we all need help in certain areas. And that's what's so amazing about Leadership Week, because there's going to be something for everybody. There's somebody who can help you walk through something. And I just love that.
Yeah, so good. I appreciate your share, Julianne. It's very much connected to what I was planning on sharing for this question. And question being, if you're just hopping in now, is what does leadership look like for you personally this week? And for me, leadership looks like really simplifying my week. Really simplifying. What that looks like is allowing myself to plan out what the non-negotiables is, what I call them, the non-negotiables for the week, the things that I do to take care of myself, which some of them are so simple, like get outside in the sun. If it's sunny, get my butt outside within the first few hours of the day. Make sure I'm journaling, make sure I'm getting enough water in for the day and fresh food if I can. And making sure that I'm listening to my body cues, because I've recently made a lot of really big decisions. And with those big decisions, they have naturally kind of shifted how I experience the week, how I experience any given day. And so in order to stay on track with what I'm focused on, with what I'm committed to, and all of those things, I'm getting to really slow down a lot and listen to my body and make sure that I'm not putting more stress on my body than is necessary. And stress is going to come, and there's also good stress too. But really making sure I'm listening to what my body's needing so that I can support myself and continue to show up to my commitments and the things that I am passionate about and I desire, and really just show up the best that I can. And I'll tell you though, because these new decisions that I've made, and it's totally changed how I experience like the flow of any given day. I get to check in a lot with myself to make sure that I'm still like, okay, all right, we on track, we on par, just making sure I'm being diligent with my own decisions. So that's what leadership looks like for me this week. And yeah, it's great to start out Monday like this because it is a really great way to create the momentum for the days to come as well, which is amazing. And it's sunny outside today. This is not the real background. This is not my real, if anyone's out there, this is not real.
Not, not.
I know, but it's so pretty though. So it's a great constant one to have and to, enjoy. Why not? But it's sunny outside today, and I'm super grateful for that because I definitely am impacted positively mentally when the sun is out. So that's what leadership looks like for me this week. So before we close out, whatever the closing thing would be, I'm not very good with sayings. I've realized that about myself, and I acknowledge it and I receive it, and I show a lot of grace for it. There should be no reason why I'm not good at sayings, but I suck at them. And I know that other people here probably are great, and it's awesome. You guys can fill in when needed. So with that being said, I'd like to give everyone some final thoughts, final words before we close out. And let's start with Rachel.
Well, thank you so much, Parisa. I think you're great. Even if you mess up the saying, you sound great. You look beautiful. You shine the light for us, even when it's cloudy out. So thank you. Love you all. Super grateful. And then we have Ava, the one, the only. Hello.
Well, I want to acknowledge that we've got Bill Walsh on the comments. Let's go.
What's up, Bill?
Hello, Bill.
Charlie Stivers is here. So, ladies and Rex, that's how it goes. Ladies and Rex. Our token male. Yeah, I love your discussion. And Parisa, I love how you talked about, how leadership looks like this week. Mm-hmm. And being present and checking in ourselves, that's we cannot give from an empty cup, right? Mm-hmm. And we can only give what we have. So it's really important to check on ourselves and recalibrate what's important, So I love all your shares. Thank you for all the gems.
Yay! Ava, question for you. Yes. What does leadership look like for you this week?
Oh my gosh. Well, most said, can we get Rex to sing Surfing USA first? That's what leadership would look like this week. Well, with the LA Leadership Week being 2 days away, 7 days of it's looking like 9 to 9 at this point. Well, technically it's 10, but we're in the green screen earlier, the green room earlier. But leadership looks to me like always leading with myself with calmness. It's very easy to get overexcited or get there's so many things to do, right? So really spending the quiet time to pause and say what's really important. Mm-hmm. What would create the greatest leverage if that's what I did at this very moment. There's so much opportunities to feel like I'm not doing the best, or there's some more things that can be done that's not getting done, but really just picking and choosing what makes the most impact, what would have the greatest effect, and letting everything else go and breathing through that. So that's what leadership looks like for me this week. And gratefulness. It's so important to be grateful. Sometimes we get so much success that it turns into stress, right? But we have such a successful acceptance, we haven't approached anybody that have not said yes, provided they saw our communication. But to be in the gratitude of having 200 speakers in LA Leadership Week, and being in the gratitude of having a lot of celebrity, well-known speakers who have made
their message, their life work all their life. And even, a few that we're adding more. Sir Kaya Redford just added a lot of Hall of Fame boxers coming on Cinco de Mayo on May 5. So we've got Hall of Fame, living legend boxers that are going to be on day 5. And the weight of blessings, if we don't stay in gratitude, can sometimes lead to overwhelm and stress. So leadership to me looks like grounding in gratitude.
Beautiful.
So good. I definitely feel like that's how you lead, though, overall, is like with a ton of grace, a ton of gratitude, and it's felt, it's palpable. It's like, that is Abba. That is who you are in this world.
Thank you. I learned that from Rex.
Aw.
I love Rex's slogan. Rex, I'm going to inherit that from you officially. We were talking to Ben Gay, the closer, the living protege of Napoleon Hill, earlier, and he said that there was a joke that he said, the first time you say something, according to Rachel Weaver, this is that, the second time you said it, someone said, someone said this, and the third time, I always say this, like it becomes your quote already. That was, of course, a joke. A joke to people who do not attribute the original quotes to whoever spoke it. But I'm going to inherit Rex's slogan. If you think everything is a blessing, then everything's a blessing. And with that, celebrate everything. So that's definitely something that I live by. Thanks, Parisa, for that, though, for recognizing and for saying that. It means a lot.
Absolutely. It's hard to, it's not hard to articulate it because it's so felt and it's so consistent. And that's the thing that makes it so easy, is that you're so consistent. It's just clearly who you are. So thank you.
And Barry says it's all about the reframe. Thank you.
Yeah.
Barry's going to be one of our speakers.
I know. I'm excited. I keep seeing his comments here. Barry, what's up, Barry? Hey.
And we had Danny Walsh show up earlier too. So Danny is one of our speakers. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we'll go through a few final words before we hop out of here. Switched up my saying again. Here we go. I'm going to learn a whole bunch by the end of the week. I'm going to create a whole list. I'm going to be an expert. Probably not. All right, Donna, we'll go with you first. Final words before we hop off.
I know the lineup's not finished. I know more and more people are coming. And just when I think it's done and solidified, I'm blown away again by how much more this whole week has to offer. And if I had to have a final word, you know what? We're just going to have fun. We're going to have fun, and it's going to bring in the happiness and the joy. We're going to learn a lot of different things, in addition to the gratitude and the grace and the grounding and all those other fun words. We got to have fun.
So good.
Julie?
To piggyback off of what Donna said, there's just so many amazing speakers that are coming to this event, and it just keeps growing and growing because there are that many wonderful nuggets of wisdom that need to be shared with the world. And I am so honored to be a part of this because, if you surround yourself with people who have what you want or are where you want to be or have information that you can utilize, why not? Why not take advantage of all of those things? I was speaking with Mo Rock the other day, and he was saying, Julianne, you've got this whole wealth of people that other people don't have access to, that you can talk to and walk through life with. Don't forget to use them. And so what we're doing is bringing those people to everybody who's watching. So don't let it go. You don't know when you'll get that opportunity again. It's just so exciting. I'm very happy to be here.
That's so true. Really just being present with who is already within that reservoir of life, right? Really going a little deeper with each of those people, I think is super, super, super impactful. I love that, Julie. Thank you. All right, Rex, go for it.
Well, there's a number of something I want to say that's, I think, very important, but let me start it with this. And that is, we don't want followers. We want to increase role models. It's not about following somebody. It's about becoming a role model yourself. The teacher is only as good as their best or worst student. You want to be a good teacher, be a wonderful student, get curious and become fascinated with those things that you can then share to other people and then be a role model. The CEO is only as effective, or she is only as effective as the worker bees that carry out the mission and the vision and make the corporation or whatever work. But we're not asking you to follow anyone. In fact, if anyone asks you to follow them, beware. There are people who put on weird tennis shoes and shirts and laid down and drink Kool-Aid and poison because somebody said, hey, there's a spaceship coming and you got to get on it, but you have to kill yourself first. There are plenty of bad leaders in the world, and you can see them, by their fruits you shall know them, and by what they claim and what they talk about. If they talk about themselves and not about it's the Marshall McLuhan said that, the medium is the message. Everything is the message. You are the message. But if they're talking about themselves and not the message, if they're encouraging you to follow them, but not follow your own path to cooperate and collaborate with other people, then they could be dangerous. And that's something that's important to know. Not all leaders are good leaders just because they have a leadership position. But you can be a good leader if you decide to be authentic, caring, compassionate, and help people. Because as we said, the purpose of this program that we're doing for well over 7 days and all of these hours is not to have you follow us, but to help you come into your own and help other people transform themselves around the world. So learn to lead yourself before you lead others, but then be a role model to others so that they too can pass along those values and those opportunities to other people. And with that, I pass.
Wow. That reminds me, Rex, of that saying where, just because you have influence, it doesn't mean you're a leader worth following.
I love what Uncle Ben said. With great power comes great responsibility. You remember Spider-Man? Great, and everybody, whoever said that in the truth. But it is so very, very true. The more money you have, the more wealth you have, the more influence you have, the more power you have, the more prestige you have, the more whatever you have, the more people are in your care, the more you're responsible for how you present to them and how you encourage them or hold them back. You're accountable. Mm-hmm. So with great power comes great responsibility.
Right. We get to be good stewards of what we have in front of us, right, no matter what, because that fruit will show, or the lack thereof. Oh, so good. Okay, I'm gonna go to Rachel. Then Rachel, after Rachel, I want to go to Jim because Jim was able to hop on and join us. Yay!
Hi, Jim. Well, hello. You know what? Why don't we just go ahead and allow Jim to at least introduce himself, so he's not sitting quietly in the background. We're so happy you were able to jump on.
Yes, Mo just sent me the invitation and the instruction to jump on. So I'm happy to be here. And I am the Director of Client Development, which means that I get to talk to good people like yourself, as well as anyone who is interested in working with us and partnering with us at the LA Tribune as a platform to bring them to the world, whether it be in publishing, business, any type of social media, whatever the case may be. And one of the like we said, we're committed to leadership, and this is something I just got off the phone with Jay Abraham, and we just confirmed his broadcast or recording for the Thursday edition. And so when it comes to leadership, one of the things that I learned most is that leadership, like I'm sure it's been said, it can't be taught, it can only be learned. And we as leaders get to have a tremendous responsibility, especially to the next generation, right? Because there is such an extraordinary need for leaders, but more importantly, for those who demonstrate leadership as an example. So we're real proud to have the people that we are, people, like this entire panel here, and the guests that we have, which is we can audaciously claim that we probably have one of the most powerful leadership panels over these next 7 days that I've seen in 25 years of working in leadership and personal development as the vice president of Tony Robbins, T. Harv Eker, Success Resources, and also too as a fellow at the Harvard Institute of Coaching. I rarely have seen a panel this robust and strong. So anyway, I'm pleased, happy, and very humbled to be here with you guys.
So good. I love it. I'd like you to hop in on this this one question that everyone answered today so far, and that is, what does leadership look like for you personally this week?
Well, what leadership looks like this week is the energy the energy that is being created and that will manifest itself this week, and just the extraordinary desire, the entire emotional aspect of this for people to. I mean, we haven't had any one person tell us no. We've approached, some of the strongest personalities in this game, and every single person that we spoke to said yes. So that energy, that desire to contribute, the contributive factor of leadership is something that is, it's authentic. So the authenticity as well from the people that are joining us. These are the things that are standing out to me, and the momentum. Right, Mo is very committed to creating momentum with this. So this is something that I want to acknowledge him for supporting, and also too for being telling us any resource that we have here at the Los Angeles Tribune is available. Use it for whatever purpose to get the leaders of this industry involved. So anyway, that's what it looks like to me.
So good. Oh, I love this. Really respecting and honoring the momentum. Oh, so good. Momentum, motivation. Hey, Mo. I may not have the sayings, but I'm really corny. So
Can I make a disclaimer here?
please.
You can attend the leadership event, but Kokomo is a song reference. You're not going to win a trip to Kokomo if you attend, just so you know. But what you do get in return is amazing return on your investment by listening to the powerful people and the influential people and the role models who are available, so that you can take things and apply them to your life and have the changes that you want to have.
Absolutely. Just like Jim said, we have some of the strongest personalities. I love the way you characterize that, because that's actually the energy and the emotion that's felt behind each one of these really incredible established speakers and teachers, and like they have strong personalities, and the fact that no one has said no, that speaks to the integrity, the character, speaks to all of it. So that it's amazing. It's huge. I'm super excited. I'd love to hear from Rachel, and then after Rachel, Ava. I'd like you to close us out and let the people know where to find all the things. But Rachel,
Yes.
go for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So grateful to be here. My closing words are definitely to be sure you are registered and invite your friends. Invite everyone you know, because there are so many amazing thought leaders and, like Jim said, strong personalities who are role models. Personalities that we want our children to see, personalities that we want our youth and young professionals to see and learn from. I know that everyone right here, what you have right here is enough knowledge to last and to be role models and make a positive impact just with the people on this stage. But we have some incredible thought leaders that are known across the globe for pouring into others and teaching people truly valuable information that each and every one of us needs to know. So be sure to share this with everyone that you possibly can, so that they can tune in as well, and together we can all grow. So thank you so much, Parisa, for hosting this today. Super excited to be with you guys always. And I will pass it over to you, Ava. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted that I get to co-create with amazing co-hosts and co-producers. Yes, Rex is pointing all the places. One of the reasons we're able to do what we do in the Los Angeles community is because we're surrounded with amazing people, committed, dedicated. This is a public service. We all are committed to up leveling the leadership consciousness in the planet, and really would love to create this momentum and actually ride the momentum because it's been created, but ride the momentum and continue the movement of creating leadership consciousness. And I couldn't tell you how great the lineup is. Yes, there are big names, but there are not so known names that are like masters in leadership. And so there's so much to learn. But in closing, I'm gonna ride from what Jim and Rex said, um, about responsibility, right? True, with great power comes great responsibility, but it also works the other way around. With great responsibility comes great power. So responsibility looks like starting at just being where you are. You could really not run a GPS unless you know where you are at the moment and get the exact location as to where you are. And without judgment, no matter where you are, just take an inventory and be in responsibility that this is where I am, and my point B is right there, and
Oh,
that's and I'm going to be pliable, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to be open, and God text stop, to be. So with that, I wanted to thank everybody, all our co-hosts. This is not all of our co-hosts, this is half of our co-hosts. The crazy ones aren't here. Who blow
I'm
up the
crazy and
chat.
I'm here.
Oh, well, the ones that blow up the chat with all kinds of conversation, but wanted to really invite you, register laleadershipweek.com. That's not hard. And share. I always run by the thought that, one idea can change your life. True. One idea can change your life. So imagine, especially if you implement it, right, Rex? You got to implement it because an idea is just an idea if you don't implement it. But, one idea can change your life, and you will have a ton of opportunity in these 7 days, May 1 to 7 during LA Leadership Week. Thank you so much, folks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.